Hey guys, just covering mid laners for this patch now, and I think the main thing to note in this is like the massive Rylai's nerf. It was pretty much used on most of the top mid laners just because it provides utility as well as a bit of tankiness as well. It just made them pretty impossible to gank. So I think some of the main champions that abused that really were champions like Victor, Ahri, because not only did it help with the wave clear, it like helps with the catch potential as well. Say someone's ganking and you apply Rylai's proc to them. One of the champions that actually have a number 5 on this list is one that was nerfed this patch. I still feel like if you play a lot of this champion though, you're just really going to dominate in lane and then obviously roam and make the advantage count in other lanes, and that's LeBlanc. She did receive changes obviously with the assassin patch, and the main thing they hit this patch is health regen, which doesn't really matter too much, and the wave clear. I think what they did was they took the damage on to all minions down from 120% to 80% on the Q, but then they also increased the damage of the Q in terms of champions, so she has more kind of assassination potential with the Q, and I think they also nerfed the E as well. I would still have her at this point though, just for the fact that she's pretty much can still one-shot most of the champions on the game currently that are played. In terms of masteries, this is what I run on most of the mage champions, especially with going for the Thunderlords, just looking for that extra burst potential. I don't think that many mid laners do well with the Deathfire Touch. Obviously some, say you're playing like Swain mid or something like that, that might work out. Yeah, I think other notable ones are potentially this one, which is a new mastery, Battle Trance. I think is extremely good, especially in the team fight phase, rather than say with LeBlanc you're more looking for assassination potential, but if you stay in a team fight for a period of time you can come in and get your second combo off. So in terms of number 4 in our list, we have, if I scroll down here, we have Syndra. There seems to be like a theme running here with almost the one-shot potential. We have LeBlanc and now Syndra. Obviously, skilled Syndra players just pretty dominant in lane. The main thing you just have to watch out for with Syndra is getting ganked, and if you always have pressure in the lane and you have good warding, you're obviously aware of where their jungler is and you can prevent the ganks. One thing she also does have is massive like turnaround ganks, so say you're pushing up in the lane but you know your jungle is near, so their jungler will come try and gank you and she'll just end up one-shotting either the mid laner or the enemy jungler with help of your jungler as well. Third in the list might be a bit of a surprise one because he's mostly not played in this role, but I still think he's just an extremely strong champion at the moment, so I've actually have him in probably in my top lane list as well, maybe even a bit higher. But I'd say Jace, just because he tends to have it pretty insane poke, and poke is quite strong in the current meta, as well as I always found he had really good rune potential. The other thing about this champion is he has such a high skill ceiling. There's so many little tricks to him. I don't know if you ever watched those Master Jace videos. There's so many little tricks like jumping over walls with the Q obviously, and knocking minions back over walls and jumping to minions. As well as the ones with like his hyper cannon blast, which are putting along a line next to you, so you're firing at the same time as you're running for the speed boost. I would have him in this point, but only if he's quite practiced for mid lane, just because he's not the normal mid lane champion, and some champions can take advantage of your low range if you're missing most of your poke. And the top 2, I think you might already be able to guess them purely just because I feel like they've been here for quite a while now, especially in competitive play. You'll see this one a lot who have that number 2, and that's Victor. I don't actually own him, but I would say just for the fact playing against him, he can stall the game for so long as well as scaling so well. Most champions where you have them stall for almost like unlimited amounts of time, say like Ziggs and Xerath, they're quite vulnerable or they don't scale as well. Say Ziggs doesn't scale as well and Xerath's quite easy to catch out, whereas Victor seems to be, due to the reason he's in number 2 pretty much, is his wave clear is insane. He has burst potential, and the fact that you can just stall it for as long as possible. Say you've got like a hyper carry, which is quite popular bottom at the moment, say Vayne or Twitch, you can stall long enough for them to get up to speed and then just take over the game pretty much. In terms of masteries, I think we've been sticking for the same ones all the way through. I would go this again. It doesn't really change too much from mid lane, and that's also true with the champion that I have in first place, which is Ahri in my opinion. I think this is one of the main champions where, say you're looking to just fill mid, not that you would get fill mid that often, but I have actually got an occasion where I've put supporters first and then had a fill mid, And I always just tend to pick Ahri. She has everything. She's so super safe with her ult, as well as having pick potential and roam potential. And you, even against some champions, you can end up shoving them in, especially if they're down on summoners. Then roam up to bot lane and just dive them easily without taking too much damage, because you can weave in and out of tower shots with her ult. So that's the mid lane list for this patch. I feel like maybe some potential ones that are upcoming is Katarina got quite a lot of buffs, so I'd have to see where she is on the list, but that's it for now.